Hello and welcome you guys. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my updated makeup routine. I feel like I haven't done a makeup video in a while, so we're about due for that. I'm actually not even getting ready for anything right now. I'm literally just putting on this makeup for this video and then I'm going to go wash it off. So let's just get started. First, I'm going to use some lotion. This has got an SPF in it. This one's from Proven. If you watched my skincare video, you might have seen it in there as well. And we're just gonna put it on like you do. Once you have your moisturizer on, whether you like to do whatever face makeup you want to do, you can do that now. Sometimes I will use concealer if I'm like going out or planning on taking pictures, I'll do that. But if I'm just like going to hang out for the day, most of the time I won't use it. But just for the sake of the video, I will do that now. And I just put on a tiny little bit. I've literally had this stuff forever and it's probably about time that I did something else, but it's been working pretty well and I feel like I like it. It's literally just the hard candy kind, so it's not anything fancy, but just use whatever you have. Like for this whole video, I'm going to be showing whatever products I use, but I don't think it matters that much. Just use whatever you have around you that works. I don't really like doing makeup videos that much because I feel like I'm not really a makeup person. Whenever I do my makeup, I'm just kind of like, I feel like BSing my way through it, and people seem to think that I know what I'm doing sometimes, but I just must be good at winging it, you know?
Years of experience.
Years of experience, Andrew says. That too, like practicing a lot. I feel like you just kind of like learn what works for you and what doesn't as you go along, and you pick up tricks, and sometimes it doesn't always look great, but you learn that way. And now that we have the concealer on, I just put it under my eyes to hide my dark circles. I use blush. I love blush, so I use a lot of it, and I know that might not be some people's thing, but I'm just showing you what I like to do since this is my video. So do what you like to do as far as blush. I'm using the Cloud Paint from Glossier, and this is the Haze shade. I was using a liquid lipstick for the longest time, but then on Black Friday, I was buying my sister some makeup from them, and they're really good deals, and I have been wanting to get some for myself for a while because my friend Olivia has this, and I really like it. I like the way that it goes on, and all the different shades. I just feel like it looks really pretty. I like to add just a little bit up here above my eyebrow. I don't know why. It's just what I like to do. And then I usually try to concentrate it more like right here in the front of my face and kind of just like blend it out along the edges. Yesterday was my 23rd birthday, so that was fun, and that's maybe why I'm a little bit low energy today. If you're feeling that kind of a vibe, that's the kind of vibe that I feel like I'm giving off, but it's because I am a little bit hungover, to be honest. We went out last night, well, during the day yesterday, we went to the Warhol exhibit at the Art Institute here in Chicago. I actually ran into a subscriber, so if it's you, hey, what's up? That was really cool. But yeah, we went to the Art Institute, checked out the Warhol exhibit, and we meaning me, my friend Michelle, who you guys know, my friend Courtney, who is from Texas. She actually came up for a couple days so she could be there on my birthday, which was so awesome and nice, and it was a lot of fun to have her around. And then Andrew, of course, was with me as well. So that was the group, and then later we just went back home. We did some practicing for the band that I just have recently started with some friends. You might have heard me saying that I've been practicing the bass in a couple videos, and I have been practicing a lot because I want to be doing something like a band or performing in some aspect. And I actually started a girl band with some friends pretty recently. We're called the Knee Highs. It's an all-girl band. I'm on bass, Michelle is guitar, my friend Ashley is guitar, and then my friend Kristen is on drums. So that's the lineup right now. And we were practicing anyways yesterday because we were going to play a song at the bar that we were going to later on last night for like dancing and everything. Like there was another band playing, but we were just gonna pop up for a song in between their sets, and that is exactly what we did. And I would say it went pretty well for only our like third practice, so I'm very proud of us, and I'm excited to be playing some more and actually playing a full set. It was so fun. And the other band is really fun. Some friends of mine were playing, so it's just like a cool time all around. A good birthday, that's for sure. And I'm also breaking out, so just don't pay attention to any of this going on here. Okay, so blush is done. As you can see, I just put it on my cheeks. I put it up along here just a tiny little bit, but mainly focus it on my cheeks. I like a little bit on my nose because I feel like it looks cute. And then I put it along my jawline too, just because I don't like to contour. I don't think that it looks good with my skin tone. Maybe I'm just not doing it right, but I feel like I always end up looking really dirty, and it might be because I'm like so pale, and I don't know, I just feel like it does not look right on my face, so I use more blush to kind of define my face shape instead of using like a contour and highlight situation. So I just use a little bit. You can't even really notice along my jawline, just to kind of add a little bit of definition and warmth as well, because I feel like I have pretty cool toned skin otherwise. So next, just so that I don't get any fallout eyeshadow under my eyes, like stuck in the concealer, I use a little bit of powder, and I just put that along there. And I'm just using this CoverGirl stuff that I got probably a million years ago, as you can see, but I don't always use powder. I feel like I go through phases, so I just have this around from whenever I got it, and that is what I'm using. So I just add a little bit, kind of sets everything and makes your face a little less like sticky. Not really is the right word, but kind of tacky feeling from the moisturizer, and then the concealer and liquid blush. I also like liquid blush a lot better because I feel like it stays throughout the day longer, and that's kind of important to me. So yeah, next I am going to start with the eye makeup. So just use whatever palette you have. I kind of switch between these two, are like my main ones. This one has been like my main go-to for a long time. As you can see, I've pretty much used a lot of the colors, but because that is happening, I have been trying to switch over to using this palette more, which I just got because I liked the colors in it. They're pretty cute, and I feel like these are like the main colors that I wear most often in my eyes. I like usually a dark kind of smoky look. So first I'm going to start off with using Poof, which is just a little cream kind of shade, and I'm going to put that on my lid. There's a nice little base using a big fluffy brush. Again, not a makeup artist, so if you are one, don't be super critical. Two, I'm going to use a little bit more of a densely packed brush. It's a little bit smaller, and I'm going to use this kind of tan shade called Shh. And I'm going to put it all over my lid, a little bit above the crease. And I'm just going to build that up a little bit more because I am kind of going for a heavier look today. So I feel like maybe a lot of people know this, but I feel like some people don't. And so this is just a little tip. When you're doing like a smoky look or any look of any kind and you want it to be really nicely blended, start with the lighter shades and work up to your darker shades. Like add the lighter shades a little bit farther than where you want to place the darker ones. So I'm going to be placing darker ones like more in my crease here. That's why I'm going a little bit outside of that with this tan shade, just so it creates like a nice smooth transition. And then I'm going to take some of that same shade and put it under my eyes. And with this look, I don't really care about getting too close under my lash line because I'm trying to make it really dramatic and kind of bring it down like this shape a little more. It's gonna make your eyes look a little bit more, I guess sad would be the word, but I just think it looks kind of cool and moody, so I like it. I feel like Stevie Nicks kind of did that with her makeup a lot. So as you can see, without the rest of my makeup, it looks like I'm kind of sick, actually. You can see it's happening, getting a little bit darker, building things up. Then I'm going to be taking this brush, which is even smaller than the last one, and I am going to close this palette, or not really because I'm using the mirror, but I'm going to grab this one just because it's got more of a medium shade compared to jumping straight to this really dark one here. From that, I'm gonna go to this, which is like kind of a warmer tone. It's called Chocolate Cookie, and I'm gonna mix it with Cashmere Bunny. Just add that on and bring it in a little bit closer to where you're gonna put the darker shade. So, you know, just creating that ombre by having the lighter one out a little bit further and then getting in a little bit darker and so on. This look is mostly about blending. Like, it's so easy to do. It just takes a while to blend everything together. But other than that, I would say difficulty level, beginner. And then you're just gonna do the same thing, but again, like you did on the top, you're just going to be keeping the darker shade in a little bit closer to your eye. So that's the kind of look that we're getting so far. Now I'm going to start doing more of like the shading in the crease. So I'm taking this brush, which I use all the time. I think I got it from like a Wet n Wild palette, but I really love this brush. And so I'm going to use this fluffier side, and I'm going to go into Sexpresso on here. Go a little bit above my actual crease, so I'm kind of raising my eyebrows just to bring that up a little bit. And then going in just above my crease. And then it kind of gets like where I want it to be. It looks pretty messy right now, but you're kind of getting the idea anyways. And I just kind of build this up and go back and forth until I get to the shade that I want it to be and like the intensity. And so when you get out to the very outer corner, I bring it down a little bit more than I normally would. And then I go underneath too with that. And I don't keep it super close to the lash line like with a lot of looks. You keep the dark like very concentrated on the lower lash line. I'm kind of just being pretty sloppy about it and just going underneath with that darker shade. And so I'm creating this shape here, you can see. Also, I wanted to say thanks to everybody who entered the giveaway for 60K on here. That's seriously amazing. So thank you guys so much. Congrats to the winner. I've already picked it out, and that announcement is on my Instagram post if you have not seen it. So I'm just kind of going in, filling in the areas that I feel like need to be a little bit darker. And if it looks a little bit harsh around the sides here, don't worry about that, because at the end we're going to go back with a fluffy brush and kind of blend everything out and blend it together. So right now we're just kind of getting the colors down where we want them to be. And so that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to take the last brush that I used, this one, and I'm just going to kind of blend it out like so. So that's looking good. Okay, you can kind of look in and see where it needs a little bit darker or needs to be blended a little more in that area. And then once you're done with that, you'll move on to a darker shade, but I'm gonna go and do the same thing on this eye really quick. All right, so as you can see, that is done. Looking pretty moody. It looks a lot like kind of 1920s makeup, I feel like not necessarily what like everyday women would wear, but I feel like old Hollywood kind of silent film. movie star look, so that is also definitely an inspiration behind this. Now I'm just going to be taking this same brush and I'm going to go with the little bit flatter side, and I'm going to go into that dark brown that's on here called Mojo, and then I'm just going to keep it in a pretty straight, well, condensed line, like all together. Not as spread out as the other ones were, at least. As you can see, it's just kind of like going into my crease here, going down again like we did before, and then I'm going to take it along the lower lash line. Keep that a little bit more condensed, but it's still pretty spread out. And then connect the two, making that kind of like little oval shape, a little raccoon eye moment, just like that, and just build it up to really the amount that you want it to be. This is definitely not like a natural makeup look, so if that's what you're looking for, I'm sure you figured it out already, but turn around. We are looking very raccoon-like. Now I'm going to just blend that out, so I'm going to take the fluffier side of the brush and do a little blending action. Okay, so pretty much just like that. Now I'm gonna go in with a fluffy brush again too. I'm just gonna take this one and I'm going to put on this shade again, the more kind of tan that we use for a base. And I'm just gonna go around the edges and kind of smooth things out another time. I feel like going over it again with the last shade around the edges kind of just really helps to make things come together. I'm going to do that on the inside too of that circle on my lid. Okay, then that's looking pretty good, honestly. Sometimes I'll go in one last time with like the black and I'll do another line, which maybe we'll just do for video's sake again. So using that same flat end of the brush and using the black, going in, making the same kind of shape that we have been this whole time, and then really getting along. And with the black, I won't bring it all the way around on my lower lash line. I'll kind of stop in the middle of my pupil where the center is when I'm looking straight forward, just to not close off my eye too much. Alright, so as you can see, that's what we did, and then I'm just going to take the fluffy end again and blend it out, you guessed. And depending on your eye shape, you'll probably have to adjust like the shape of the shadow that you're doing, you know, if that makes sense, and also with like the size of your eye, you'll have to adjust how much or how big you make the transition areas and everything. So it's kind of like trial and error. You just have to figure out what works for you and like your shape. But it's definitely fun to do and fun to play around with. So that is the finished eye on this side. Well, not really finished, but pretty much blended out, at least the dark stuff that I just put on. And once you've blended out, you might see that you need to like adjust the shape a little bit. Like on here, I need to add a little bit more shadow down here. Okay, so now I'm just going to take that brush that I used to blend with the base color that we did, and I'm just going to put a little more of the base color and blend out the edges one last time since I did add that darker shade. Blend on your eyelid, and then you're basically done. Like, this is pretty much the look. I just kind of go along and fixed any edges that I feel like didn't quite get to where I wanted to. I just used my finger. This was based off of the makeup that I had in my everyday hair tutorial that I posted maybe a couple of videos back, and a lot of people were interested in that makeup look, so I'm trying to recreate that situation here. But like I kind of said at the beginning, I don't always do things the same way. I just kind of like play around, and usually whatever I end up doing that day is what happens. I don't always pay attention to what I did, but this is kind of like a look that I've been doing a lot lately, so I do it a little bit differently every single time color wise, but typically I'll stick with like the browns and blacks like I did here. At this point, you could really go a lot of ways. You can keep it as it is, just add some mascara, be good, call it a day, or you can add some eyeliner. For this look, I would probably not like do like a super up wing. I'd go along with kind of the shape that the eyeshadow is going, so I'd bring it down and kind of follow like the line that my eyelid is creating here and do that. Or I have kind of been loving not using eyeliner but using a brown eyeshadow and then doing like a black eyeshadow too, to make kind of more of like a smoky eyeliner effect. And I think that that's what I'm gonna do now, just since I've already shown how I do cat eyes a lot in videos, and this has kind of been truly how I've been doing my makeup lately. So I'm going into Mojo here, the darker brown, and I'm just using this little brush. It's not super tiny or anything, but it's a nice thickly packed together and a nice little angle, so that'll work perfectly for this. And then I'm just gonna go along my lash line like you would put on eyeliner. And this is also easier if you're ever in a rush and like love the look of eyeliner but don't really have time to do it. I would say try to use eyeshadow because it's not going to be as dramatic as eyeliner would be, just with like the opacity and everything, but it's still going to give that kind of effect, and it kind of gives more of like a little bit of a natural look. Not obviously with this going on, but I mean if you just do like the black eyeshadow and do kind of a wing, you can kind of blend it out a little bit so it's not quite as dramatic. I did that for my little sister when I did her makeup because she wanted a cat eye, but she's also 13, so, you know, trying to not make her look too much older than she is. Alright, so there we go, we got that going on. And then I just take it and I'll go a little bit out, like I said, in the shape that the eyeshadow is going. Now that that is done, I'm going to use my actual eyeliner brush, which is just this little guy here, and I'm going to use the black eyeshadow and then just go along that line but a little bit tighter to my lash line actually. Okay, and that's how that one looks. This is just so much easier to do than actual eyeliner, and if you mess up, it's a lot more forgiving. Okay, and now that that is done, I'm just going to take this brush again, use the flatter side, make sure it doesn't have too much leftover eyeshadow on it, and then I'm just gonna kind of smoke this out here. Being very careful at the end here because I don't want to lose that shape that I just did. I just want the edges to be a little less crisp. And that is it, pretty much. I just have to put on some mascara now for like final little finishing touches. I always use this in my inner corner. It's just like a white, shiny kind of shimmery eyeshadow. and this is just from a Maybelline palette. I don't like these two colors. I say this like every single time I show this palette, but these do not work like at all, but the black's pretty decent, and this one is as well. Works perfect for like inner corner, just to kind of give you a little bit of brightness to this otherwise pretty dark look. And again, I know that this is kind of dramatic and it's not everybody's thing, but you're on my video, so welcome. Again, I put it on my nose, put a little bit on my Cupid's bow, and then we can put on some mascara. Just before I do that though, you can pretty much do like a lot of things with this look. Like if you want to do little twiggy lashes underneath, that would be cool. I do that sometimes. Sometimes I just do one of the little lines a la the GTOs and Alice Cooper style. So just do whatever you want. Put little stars, go crazy, do polka dots, whatever makes you happy. So for today, I'm just going to keep it like this. And then I put on some mascara, curl the lashes a little bit, even though mine don't really stay curled at all. And I'm using the Glossier mascara. And then for like a full on like glam crazy look, if you're like going out or just feeling fun, put on some false lashes. I do that sometimes. I have some really crazy big ones that I love. And then I've also really been loving putting fake lashes along my lower lash line. And I'll either use, because the lashes that I use right now are like I was saying, really crazy ones. And they're from Likely Makeup. And like this is one of them. They're like so long. So I use these ones on top. Or I'll just end up using these like more normal sized little lashes along the lower lash line, and I'll just stick them on like so. And it kind of looks weird because I'm just holding it, but it does really look cool and like super dramatic in 60s. I've done that in a couple of videos. I don't know if I had fake lashes on the bottom for the video that I'm referencing for this, the hair tutorial. I might have, but I'm pretty sure if I did, I just used like the little individual lashes that you can get, and I put them on individually, and I feel like it looks a little more natural as fake lashes on the bottom can look. But it's also a little bit easier to apply. It just takes a little bit longer, but it looks really cool, and you can kind of play around with how you like it, whether you like them really packed together densely to make like a super dramatic, thick lower lash line look, or you can kind of spread them out to make like little bunches of lashes, which would also be cute. And if I don't use fake lashes, I usually pack on the mascara quite heavily, just to kind of get like that look. But if I'm using fake lashes, I just kind of brush the mascara on lightly because it doesn't matter as much. I'm just kind of doing it to make the fake lashes and my real lashes be a little more cohesive. If you like this shirt, by the way, just in case anybody's wondering, it is like a vintage shirt that has been upcycled by Mary Benson. I think her Instagram is Mary Benson London, and she does like cool upcyclings of vintage clothes like this. Like she put on all the little coin appliques and all that jazz. I love this collar, it's so sick. All right, and that is pretty much the finished look. So it's pretty dramatic. I love it. I like the way that this looks. This is my favorite makeup look on me personally. It's kind of fun to make it look a little more dramatic, and I feel like I have kind of a baby face in some ways, not like super round or anything, but I feel like I look very like, you know what I'm saying, very wholesome and everything, which there's nothing wrong with, but I like to kind of add that little bit of edgier element to it. Like somebody commented on one of my videos, I think it was like my Edie Cedric makeup video, and brought up a good point how like Twiggy used her style of makeup which Twiggy and Edie are very different but pretty similar in certain ways. But Twiggy anyways used her makeup to kind of accentuate the youthful look that she had and girly kind of vibes, while Edie kind of used her makeup to contrast her youthful look, and I really like that about her. I just almost knocked over my tripod. I really like that about her anyways, so she's always an inspiration. And then I have been recently doing my eyebrows because I got the Boy Brow from Glossier, and normally I don't do anything to my eyebrows. I don't even pluck them. Like, I think it's been 3 years since I've plucked my eyebrows, and I really like the look of them just kind of being bushy and whatever, so this kind of adds to that. And before I would comb out my eyebrows and like add hairspray meaning, to the brush so that they would all be combed in like the same direction and stay there. But I like this because it adds a little bit of color to it as well. And I like to kind of make these ones on the bottom stand out a little more that otherwise are pretty light, so you can't really see them normally. And I just kind of brush them up, make them a little messy looking, make them a little bit crazy. I love that. And then just do the same thing with the other side. Alright, so got the eyebrows on, got them all fluffed and whatnot. Then at this point I would put on the eyelashes if I was going to, but I'm not going to since I'm not going anywhere. I don't really feel like gluing something to my face for no reason. Sometimes I'm in that kind of a mood, but today I am not, and it's kind of a miracle that I ended up doing this video the way that it is. So use your imagination, get creative. I'm loving my new haircut that I got. It is seriously so cool, and I love to like fluff up these bangs and like hairspray them a little bit messy. It's kind of like the first ever version of a mullet, and I love Marianne Faithfull for that. At this point, put on some chapstick. If you like lipstick, you can add some lipstick, but normally when it's like a really dark eye look, I try to steer clear from lipstick personally, just because at least on me I feel like it's a little bit much, but then again I don't like the way that lipstick looks on me anyways, so I always just use chapstick and lip gloss, which I'm gonna go get right now just to kind of pull this all together. Alright, so add your chapstick, moisturize them lips, and then I like to use lip gloss. I got this one too, Glossier. This is not a sponsorship, I just actually got a couple products from them, so yeah. I actually really do like it though, everything that I've gotten, and I love this lip gloss. It's like the glossiest lip gloss that I've ever used in my entire life, and that's exactly what I was looking for since I don't like lipstick. Yeah, this is the finished makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you guys take little bits of this, add it to your own makeup routine. Tag me in some photos on Instagram if you do. I would love to see it. It's always super fun. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, whatever you're doing. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.